Hi all, Cynthia here, back doing another 12 by 12 process layout. There's the sketch that I'll be following. It's from a lady by the name of Suzanne Stringfellas. I just got that from Pinterest. I've gone through the paper pad, pulled out this page which I think I'll use for my background, but I'm just going to put a bit of gesso on the back on it just to cover it up, make it a little bit paler. Gesso goes on quite strong, but as it dries it does fade out, so it's certainly not this bright white. So I've put that on and now go through my papers here, pull out some of my offcuts. So I've decided this layout that I really want to use up some of my scraps. So I've pulled out the blues here and I'm going to go through the blues as there's blue on my son's wetsuit. So I fiddle around with the papers for a little while, and it takes me a while to get them how I like it, as I'm pretty determined that I'm definitely going to use papers from this paper pad only, or from this offcuts only. How has everyone been? Hope you're all well. Hope you've all managed to get a bit of scrapping done or a bit of art stuff done. Today was, what day is it? I've made this process video this morning and we're Sunday here in Tasmania, Australia. So it was a beautiful day. I just managed to do a bit of this in between out in the garden and mowing the lawns and doing the stuff you need to do a bit of housework today. Not like I don't do it any other day, but just happened to do some today as well. So really just shuffling papers around here. Deciding I don't mind the way this is starting to look. Just gotta keep working it out, trying to see what I can do. So I've decided I'm going to put my photo down, trying to use up, as I said, looking at it, doing my stash. So I've pulled out these old, I don't know, the little double-sided tabby things. Been in my stash forever. I moved on to double-sided tape these days, so I certainly don't use those, but determined that I'm going to use them so I can get them out of the way. So I've got my background that I'm going to mount the photos on. I've got a couple of pieces of paper there, got them in place. Cut this one down, put that in there. I think one of the reasons I struggle with this photo is that little round photo that I have. So I have the photo there, the main photo of my son standing in front of some sandstone cliffs, and then I also have a close-up of the cliffs themselves. But I really did struggle. I did want to try to use something a bit different, but just couldn't quite figure it out. So grabbing out my Big Shot and going to cut out this compass out of some paper. And just making that sit nice and neat. So I can put that back. And then I pop that out. And I shuffle that around for a little while, trying to figure out the best place to put it. In the end, I decided to cut it in half. And put a piece up the top and then a piece down the bottom left as well. So to repeat that element. Grabbing out my thickers now to work on the title before I go too far. Pull out the blues and the browns. Thought I might use a blue. Oh, and I also pulled out gold because there is a touch of gold in that blue paper that the photo's mounted on. So I'm trying to repeat that gold element, but I end up going with these brown, have a little, I don't know, cross. What have they got on it? They've got a grid type of pattern across them. They are meant to be sticky back, but they well and truly have lost their stick now. And I don't have enough letters, so you'll see me here. What I cut out the negative space on 2. I cut out the negative for the 0, N for the N, and I use that. I think that looks quite good because I had 2 that I did the same with. So, mind you, I end up covering up the O as the video goes along. You'll see that. So it really is just the N there that you notice. But I still think, considering it talks about exploring the different, I don't know, for some reason or other, having the different fonts or alphas, I thought it worked well. So starting to glue down my letters. I think I skipped through so I don't make you watch me do that. Staple down my summer word, which is a gold, it's like a wire that has been twisted into the word of summer, and I've had that in my stash for, I would say 5-6 years. So I'm glad I'm getting that on the page. As I said, this layout is all about using the stash. See whether I can use the branding strip down here. I feel like I need to have something down here. This layout ended up being very condensed, if that's the word, all clustered in the middle. Would have liked to somehow have it a little bit more spread out a little bit, but didn't seem to go that way. Sometimes, as you may know, what you visualize in your head is not what ends up on the page. There's my son helping with the design aspect of it. Now playing with the big shot. Contemplated putting that little bit of blue up the top just to carry that all the way through that side, but decided not to go with that. Putting some glue on the back of my little fine die cut there. You saw how I do that, so I just put a blob of glue onto the piece of paper and then touch my die cut into the glue, and that covers the back. Using the hot glue gun to put down the 2 strips down the bottom, and decide that I'm going to put that round photo down there, so I cut that in half and put it there. And yeah, I don't end up using it, just couldn't come up. Well, I probably could, because in the end I do put another round element down there, but it's not the photo. I find a die cut, I believe, that I put down there in the end. Just tidying up the desk and having a drink. So I've changed my camera layout a little bit, which does mean you can see more of the desk. Let me know what you think. Am I showing too much? Would you like to be zoomed in a little bit more? This is as far as I can go in the setup that I have at the moment. So unless I get my husband to do a bit of work around, which I'm sure he can. But I've turned the camera over, or the phone over, which I record with, so now I can actually look up and see that it's still recording, because a couple of times it has stopped on me and I'm not aware. Mind you, it did stop during the filming of this one as well, which I didn't realise either, but thankfully The only thing you missed was me gluing down my journaling when we get to that stage. So now I'm shuffling around some ephemera here. I've gone through my ephemera packs and pulled out some blue and gold pieces I thought might work on this page. And starting to see how I could lay them. Did like that blue anchor. Oh, and that's where I decide that globe fits perfectly there as the O in exploring. So that's where I covered up the negative that I spoke about. And it's starting to come together a little bit now. A few of the things are starting to fall into place and looking okay. Decided that I wanted to put a enamel dot on there. So I had to go hunting for my enamel dots, found some blue ones, which brings in a nice pop of colour, brings that blue down there as well. Trying to use up these little foam squares. Once again, no longer use those because I find it painful to have to peel the backings off. Most of the time I don't peel all the backings off. I quite often only peel one or two off if there's a big group of them, just enough to make it stick to the page. The rest I leave the backing on. But they're in my stash and I want to use them up, so try to use them where I can. And once they're all used, I'll just go back to using the fun foam. Tidying up the desk again. I think it's starting to come to the end here. I go off and type out my journaling, and you can see that's there. I just use the Becky Higgins Project Life app, and I just type it out onto a card, just put some cardstock in the printer and print it out. Probably made it a little bit too big for the space that I had, but I make it work. I'm not that concerned that I want to go back and reprint it again, so I just leave it as it is. Cutting it down, laying it out just down there. And as I said, I think this is soon when I go to glue it on, the camera cuts out, which is quite good anyway. It saved me having to trim this section out. Yes, decided that I'm going to mount my paper. So I pull this piece out here, which is blue, trim down my page, and I will mount it so it has a frame. Felt like it was just in the middle of nowhere, so I felt like it needed a bit of a frame to hold it in place. So just trimming down a little 1/4 of an inch off each side, and then I'll gut out the middle of this page. But I think I cut out so you don't have to watch me do that. But then again, maybe I didn't either. Oh, there we go. I've cut it out and it is now glued down. This is where I glue my journaling down. Just talks about how one of our favourite things to do is to go off and explore the coastline. And on this particular day was exploring some beautiful sandstone cliffs. Pulled out some wood veneer, and I had these seashells. Thought I might use those, but I also found some of these Oh, so there's a compass and an anchor and a ship steering wheel. And I thought they work perfectly with the theme of today, so I find a spot to put 3 of those, and I put them down, and that really pretty much just coming to the end of the layout. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.